call to order our regular scheduled board meeting, January 24th, 2025, a little after 1. Declaration of a quorum, 5 members present. Welcome everybody, thank you all for being here. Welcome to this meeting of the College Station Independent School District Board of Trustees. We are elected at large to represent the interests of our community and our state in educating our students. Our mission for our students in this district is success each life, each day, each hour. We adhere to all pertinent laws, policies, and procedures in posting agendas and conducting our meetings. The detailed agenda information was made available to us at least 72 hours in advance. We have all come to this meeting informed and prepared. We've just completed a workshop meeting where we heard reports and discussed much of the information needed to make decisions in either this meeting or in upcoming meetings. This is a meeting of the 7 trustees in a public setting rather than a public meeting. As such, public comment is included on the agenda at a specific time and requires us to listen rather than take action, so as to abide by the Open Meetings Act. We're pleased that you've taken time this evening, this afternoon, to join us. We are very proud of this school district and we thank you for your interest in and support of our students. Before we move to board reports, I think we do have a presentation.
Up there.
Yeah.
Is it already?
Yep.
I'm Carmela Schaefer, Director of Purchasing. For those of you who don't know who I am, the one who always says no, besides Heather. The one who makes it, why do we have to do all of that? And then they call her, and she's like, yeah, that's what you have to do. So welcome to government. But the reason why we're here today is for, we utilize, the district issues numerous bids, especially since the bond election passed. We have been very busy in the purchasing department. But we do not have the staff to issue every single bid that we would need to purchase everything that we need to be able to do what we do here at College Station ISD district-wide. And for those of you guys who know that if we procure or purchase anything that totals $50,000 over a year aggregate, then we're required by law to have a RFP or a bid or a contract that's based upon. So with that being said, we utilize some purchasing cooperatives, and I have Vance Hamilton here with my board who, with their contracts, we get a portion of our spend back at the end of the year based on our purchases that we do through their contracts. And this year, we are able to get back, what, $69,000?
$802,
Yes. He's like, so it's a huge amount. So $69,802 that we got back based on our spend on our TASB contracts this year. And so Vance is excited about it. Don't zoom in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, real quickly, good afternoon, and we just want to say from TASB, we appreciate what you guys do as a board and administrators, everything else. You know, it's a humbling job, and we know that. So for you, Dr. Harkrider and President Horak and the rest of the board, we appreciate what you guys do. And one of the things that, one of the sayings that we kind of throw around at TASB every once in a while, and I think it's grown on me, it makes more sense, but for administrators and others, professionals in this business like Carmela, is we try to do things to help districts save both time and money and to lessen the burden of government. So as you mentioned government a while ago, we know it can be a little cumbersome. So whatever we can do to do that. And as a purchasing cooperative, that certainly meets those standards with saving time and money, with not having to go out for a bid. And you're able to utilize the Buy Board Co-op as well as other co-ops too, where we have competitive pricing and great vendor, over 1,000 vendors. So everything you need for a district to operate pretty much. And so I do want to say real quickly that Carmela, she really runs one of the most professional purchasing departments around. So I serve a pretty large territory, and she does an exceptional job. I've got to witness that. I mean, for example, they put on a purchasing academy every fall, and so that's tremendous. A lot of districts don't do that. So it's a great way to educate and bring awareness and train on purchasing, not only from co-op, but however that is. So again, we appreciate what you guys are doing. We're glad to give you back a little bit of the portions. And the district spent over $10 million last year through the Vibor Cooperative. That was double than from the year before. So again, credit to Carmel and her staff and everybody else too that is trained and utilizes Vibor. So you guys are doing a fantastic job, and we appreciate what you do as well. So have a great day. Thanks so much.
That's right.
All right, that'll bring us to board reports. Who'd like to go first?
I get to put a slug in because 50 Men Who Can Cook for the Education Foundation is coming up February 7th. And just a reminder, if anyone out there is looking for tickets, that those are all advanced purchase digital tickets. So go to givetokids.org to get all of that information. I also attended SHAC this month, and at our SHAC meeting, we reviewed the CSISD wellness plan, which is one of the action items that SHAC is required to do. So we went through that and had some great discussions from DEIC. We will be voting on a calendar recommendation this meeting. That's pretty much what we did.
The intergovernmental committee meeting was canceled because of the weather. And then Head Start Policy Council met, and the vast majority of the discussion was related to the budgets. And I'll just again say thank you, and I'm amazed by the amount of detail and work that the staff and that particular council puts in when it comes to the budget with all the requirements and so forth they have to meet. So that was the main part of that meeting.
And I wanted to share an outside activity that actually Ms. Simmons and I participated in. Was it just last week? Yes, just last week. The League of Women Voters locally had asked some of our local school board members to have a panel and to just basically share what the role of school boards was, as well as kind of a school finance 101, right? And I think we had, Heather and I were able to do it, as well as 3 members from Bryan. So we had a little panel and some of just the information about those things. And it was very well received. I was very happy we were able to participate. And I think there are a lot, the feedback was, especially the school finance part, right? It is so complicated, and so trying to boil it down into the details and the reality of really how we're funded, and we've talked about pieces of it in here, but I thought it was really well received, and I thought that, and it's something that maybe we think about continuing to share with people in other ways throughout the community. So.
Bring us to superintendent update.
Yes, sir. We've got plenty going on. Several of our cabinet members will be with me in Austin starting Sunday. So January 26th through 29th, we'll be at the TASA Midwinter Conference. I believe it is the largest school administrator conference in the entire country. So we've never went down there. Then we did come back with some great information. And Austin and I will be presenting on Tuesday with our architects, VOK, on our 24 bond and passing an entire athletic package. And so that should probably be pretty well attended, considering some of the struggles with passing athletic bonds, and putting them all together is really unique. A lot of folks have not done that. Kind of want to announce we have a new partnership with Texas A&M through their early literacy partnership. We've got 3 pilot campuses. They trained last Friday, they're training today, and are already implementing some of the new things they're learning. So South Knoll, Southwood Valley, and Creekview are all participating, 2 grade levels each. So we're excited about that opportunity for our staff as well as for our kids. And School Board Recognition Month is this month. However, because of our crazy schedule, we are tabling that. I know, Jeff, you're going to be so disappointed. So in February, we thought it would be more appropriate to be able to recognize you in front of our entire team. Not that everybody in the room here is not important. However, we'd like all our principals here as well. And so we'll table that as well as our gifts in the February meeting.
That's good. Let me see, you'll be able to run that meeting. I won't be here. Item D, hearing of citizens. I don't believe we had anybody sign up. That brings us to item E, consent agenda. Those items are item F, I2 through I8, J6. I believe that's it. Yep.
Move that we approve the consent agenda. Second.
Motion by Ms. Eby, second by Ms. Simmons. Any further questions or comment? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Brings item G, G1, consideration, discussion, and possible action regarding the 25-26 College Station ISD school calendar. Mr. Mann.
Good afternoon, everybody. It is my pleasure to come and talk with you about our school calendar process. This is quite the event, but it's good to get it to this point. Just as a reminder, this is kind of the process that we go through at DEIC as we pretty much all fall. This is a big topic of conversation in our meetings, and here we are, hard to believe it is January, and it's time for the recommendation to be brought to you guys for consideration. That's what we will do at the end of the conversation here. But here's the process. After the board meeting, we emailed out to the stakeholders, Austin pushed things out, also put them on social media. And we had our survey posted on our district website, starting the day after the board meeting, all the way through January 3rd. And then I got to look at all the responses for several consecutive days to get it ready for the DEIC meeting that was on the 8th. And okay, that's how it's imaging there. It's okay, everything is showing, but you can see here, and you have handouts in front of you that have the numbers on this, but you can see the large percentage of our respondents were our parents, with just over 70% of those, and then the second group responding were our teachers. We also had some students, and then we classify our other CSISD staff. That's any other staff member in any other position that's not a classroom teacher in there. And then we had some community members that do not have students in the district that participate. So you can see parents, we asked them to identify by grade level, and because of this, the numbers are not going to equal to the total numbers of parents because they have the ability to select multiple grade levels, but their vote is only included one time. But we have for several years looked at the different grade level participation rates by the parents, and so you can see here of the 1943 parents that participated, you can see overall the selection of calendar 00 over NN. And you can see how that's reflected at the different grade levels as far as participation rates that were identified and which calendar was preferred at each one of the grade levels by parents. And we look at students. We did not have nearly as many students participate as they did in the cell phone survey, apparently. But we did have some students participate. And you can see that they are surprisingly the opposite of their parents, right? Of the ones that participated, because the students, their preference was calendar NN instead of 00. And you can see that the majority of the respondents were of high school age, and then into the middle school, and then K through 6 were the least responding students. And then our teachers, we had just over 400 teachers participate in the survey. And so you can see that as far as teachers go, their pick was for calendar NN, but it's a pretty small margin. And if you look at each of the grade level breakdowns, you can see it's a very small margin if you get into the actual details of the numbers, just like less than 10 in a couple of them. They're really close to each other. And so a lot of just personal preference as a teacher or a parent is what comes into play for the final decisions by a lot of them. And then our other school staff, 216 other school staff participants, and again, you can see just how close the choice is between the two and the preferences. And then our community members, you can see here the community members, there were more of them that have 00 versus NN. And this one, in all of these, there were small numbers of folks that started the surveys but did not complete them. So that's why if you're looking at the numbers, 12 and 21 don't equal 35, it equals 33 because 2 people didn't complete the survey. I didn't include that bar graph on there, but just if you're looking at the numbers, I wanted you to know why are there two people not accounted for. So We also had open-ended comments at the end. There were 397 total open-ended comments, and so this equates to just over 15% of our total participation rates felt the desire to leave a comment. And so you can see, again, these numbers won't add up exactly to 397 because our teachers and our parents can identify multiple categories. So some of those will overlap, but in the comments appear under both categories. So if you're a teacher and a parent, you could be in both categories, but the comment only is included once, just so that you can see that. But we did have several open-ended comments that we took into consideration as DEIC. And at the end of the day, the results of all the stakeholders looking at it, as you can see on the right, a very close margin of calendar 00 with 52.1% of the votes versus 47.9% of the votes. And that's kind of how we broke out. Parents had a strong perspective on one, and then teachers had not as strong, but they had more of a perspective on calendar NN, and then the rest of them are pretty close in the margins. And even the teacher margin's pretty close. High school picked one calendar, and K through 8 picked the other. And so it's really pretty dead even between the two. And with specifics to calendar 00, you can see the major holidays, fall break, spring break, they do align with A&M schedule. It's 187 instructional staff work days, 174 instructional days, that's where students are in class. And this accounts for our required minutes that we have in there. And then you can see the breakdown by fall with 84 instructional days versus spring, 90 instructional days. We typically have had a few more days in the spring than the fall because this also, not only does this end us before the winter break for the fall semester, but it also accounts for the state testing that occurs in the spring. 93 contract days for employees in the fall and 94 contract days in the spring. 7 PD days and 2 teacher work days in the fall and 3 PD days and 1 teacher work day in the spring. And then 16 holiday dates in the fall semester and 10 holiday dates in the spring semester. So with that, I will take any questions that you have. It is the recommendation of DEIC that the board consider a calendar 00 for the 2025-2026 school year.
I move to accept as presented.
Motion by Mr. Ben, second by Ms. Simmons. Any further comment or questions? I will note that January 20th, 2026, I'll put an asterisk. That's the day after Martin Luther King Day, and we missed school 2 years ago. So that might be another day in there.
That's what we have minutes for.
I know, so that might be another
You
day.
always tell me not to do anything.
I'm just telling you. I think teachers enjoy the Tuesday part, go ahead.
President Rory, I would like just to add real quick that, because I had several comments, not several, but a few, asking why we, as a school district, are more, I think creative was one of the words that was used as far as the calendar. And I would just like to remind folks that for better or worse, we are, because of our location, tied so much to A&M and to Bryan ISD and so forth as far as calendaring. And so, I know you mentioned that a couple times in your presentation. So that's one of the issues that we have to deal with.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you, Mr. Main. That'll bring us to H1, consideration of adoption of non-business days for calendar year 2025 for Texas Public Information Act calendar.
Sure, I'm gonna pull up this calendar for you here really quick so you can see what we're talking about. So last year was the first year that we adopted an additional calendar following our academic calendar, and this is specifically for the communications department as we fulfill public information requests as they come through our office. And so the government code allows us to designate 10 additional days outside of the days that are designated by the state, which are state national holidays and weekends. And so we usually will put those within our spring break, Thanksgiving break, and winter break, mainly because our staff is off and it's difficult for us to to fulfill those requests in those time periods. And so the recommendation here is to approve the resolution that was attached in the memo to establish non-business days pursuant to the Texas Public Information Act. Any questions?
I move to approve this plan.
I'll second.
Motion by Ms. Simmons, second by Mr. Ben. Any further questions or comment? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item H2, we are going to table that, and we'll address that at a later board meeting. Business item I1, consider an order authorizing issuance of unlimited tax school building and refunding bonds, appointing a pricing officer and delegating to the pricing officer the authority to approve the sale of bonds, establishing certain parameters for the approval of such matters, levying an annual ad valorem tax for the payment of the bonds, and enacting other provisions relating to the subject. Ms. Wilson.
Thank you, Mr. Hart. Dr. Hartwriter, Board of Trustees, thank you for giving me this opportunity to present. As you know, back in July, we sold $98 million of our bond program for the 23 bond projects as well as the 24 bond projects. So the 24 bond projects, we've already sold all those bonds. And so what we're wanting to do today is really kind of two priorities. The first, as you know, we have been moving fast with Mr. Buckner and Mr. Samak. We've been moving fast on our bond projects, which is a blessing to the school district because, as you know, the faster you go, the more money you typically save due to inflation. We sold 38.8 of Proposition A back in July. We're bringing 138 million, thank you. We're bringing 150 million of Proposition A back to the board, as well as 7 million, 945 million of Proposition B back to the board. That's really our first priority, is our new money that we would like to bring in order to. The second one is really some refunding of 2014, 15, and 16 bonds. With the refunding, there is a parameter around that. We have to have at least a 3% savings. Right now it's running about 3.22%. With the 3.22%, you're saving anywhere between $1.9 million to $2 million savings. It's going to fluctuate a little bit. If we were to save the 3, it's saving about $1,645,000 to the school district. That equates to about $169,000 a year in savings, which can kind of help us. I want to bring up the fact that with the bond programs, we told our voters that we would not increase tax rate more than 2 pennies. We were at 1.3 cent increase. We feel like with these next bond sales, we'll be able to hold that number, and so I think that's another thing that you would probably want to know. We do have Michelle Aragon here. She is our financial advisor for our school district. If there's any questions that you would like to address to her, she'd be more than happy to help us out. Are there any questions or concerns? If there are no questions or concerns, it's an administrative recommendation that the College Station ISD Board of Trustees approve the adoption as an order authorizing the issuance of unlimited tax school building bonds and refunding bonds, appointing a pricing officer and delegating to the pricing officer the authority to approve the sale of the bonds, establishing certain parameters for the approval of such matters, levying an annual ad valorem tax for the payment of the bonds, and enacting other provisions related to the subject.
Motion that we approve as presented.
I second.
Motion by Ms. Eby, second by Ms. McAdams. Any further questions or comments?
Just to get all the records, so to speak, it says unlimited bonds. Just say what that means in relation to the bond packages that have passed. We're not, for the public out there, we're not approving new bonds or anything like that, right?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir. We're just approving to be able to sell the bonds that's already been approved by the community. That's a great question. And refunding the bonds, just really to make sure that we're taking access to any savings that we possibly can. This parameter gives us a year to sell these bonds. However, we just really wanted to get ahead of things in case there's a switch in the market. We want to go back when it's most favorable. We're really kind of looking April, May to make the sale. We would like for the refunding and the sale to be done at the same time because that allows us to pay one financial advisor fee, one rating fee, things like that. So we're trying to do the most that's beneficial to the school district. This allows us to kind of watch that market and be ready to go when it's most beneficial.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's good to summarize too what's going on. Obviously, we're selling part that's already been approved, just like you said, and then refinancing some that's already out there. And just to reiterate, you believe that the amount you can refinance will save us close to $2 million, or how?
Right now, if we do the 3%, it's
On a growth
1.645.
basis.
So that's the lowest we would refinance the bonds. If it's not very beneficial to us, if it goes below that rate, that's what the parameters for. It's been going up and down between 1.9 and 2 million savings, but we'll kind of watch that market and go to the market when we see the best savings we could get. Does that make sense? But we won't refinance unless we can get that savings. Thank you.
When I just follow, we have done this before, and we appreciate that y'all are, both of you are on top of this to help us, take advantage of those savings when they become available. So,
Appreciate that. Thank you.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Brings us to item J1, consider authorizing the superintendent to enter into final negotiations and contract on CSP number 25-004 with CS Advantage USAA Inc. for roof repairs and replacements at Bain Consolidated High School utilizing 23 bond funds. Mr. Buckner.
All right, so these next three agenda items go together. We bid these out at the same time period for Bain Consolidated High School, Cypress Grove, as well as Spring Creek. Of course, this first one is for Bain Consolidated High School. It is for a full tear off of the existing roofing system. It also includes replacing the metal panels that you see on the exterior of the building that are green in color. And then also some windows and the skylights that are in this, that are in the campus. So all of that is part of this project, and it includes $300,000 in owner's contingency as well. We're looking at this project starting this summer, and will take roughly around 12 to 14 months for completion. And through that, we had quite a few respondents to the bid, of which CS Advantage USAA was the deemed the best value in our scoring matrix that we use for the bids.
I just want to say before you, hopefully we do approve it, I think Consolidated, as someone who's had kids there, and many of us have been in that building, it has been in need of a major roof replacement for quite a while. And so I'm excited to hear that it's not just a patching, right? This is everything down to around the skylights and everything. Is that true?
It is everything on that roof. It is a full tear off, skylights, windows being addressed that are this roof area P, which really doesn't make sense to anybody unless you see the floor plan of the project, but it's some of the upper windows in the hallways and stuff that are being replaced that we have issues with
It'll
leaking.
take a year, is that right?
At least a year,
Yeah.
weather pending. It's
Complete.
Yeah. Can I ask, so how is that going to coordinate with the other additions though, and to make sure that it is really one seamless roof? What are the plans around that?
It'll be organized chaos. The new addition will have the same roof type that this is going to, but it will transition, there won't be any issues with it.
So we feel like, I'm assuming you feel like moving ahead with the roof now for just this portion is necessary.
This is covering all but that new addition, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
I move to approve as presented.
I'll second.
Motion by Ms. Simmons, second by Ms. McAdams. Further questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item J2, consider authorizing the superintendent to enter into final negotiations and contract with CSP number 25-005 with Atlas Universal Inc. for roof repairs and replacements at Side Grove Intermediate School utilizing 23 bond funds. Buckner.
So just along the same lines, this one we had 9 proposers respond to it, and this one we took bids for a full replacement. We had an alternate in there in case we wanted to just do an overlay, which is put the new roof system on top of the existing. That campus only has one roof system, so by code it is allowed. However, after kind of talking with our consultants and stuff, we don't know the amount of water or anything that is inside the existing system because we do have major leaks over there. Remember from a few months ago when I presented on roofs, that one was recommended for replacement in 2018. So it's had a few more years since that recommendation was. So it was best suited to just do a full tear off and start over new with this new roof. And this one should be a summer project. So it should start. It'll start right towards the end of May, and should be complete by the end of by the time kids come back in the building in August. Of course, it's all outside work, so it's all weather pending as well.
I'll second.
Motion by Ms. Simmons, second by Mr. Ben. Any further question or comment? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. J3, consider authorizing the superintendent to enter into final negotiations and contract on CSP number 25-006 with RGO Roofing and Construction LLC for roof repairs at Spring Creek Elementary utilizing 22 bond funds.
Okay, so this one is not a roof replacement. It is just, there are some repairs through warranty through the manufacturer when they put the roof on the building on Spring Creek when it was built. So we have some warranty repairs that'll be part of it, as well as all of the rooftop units need to have corrections made to how they are penetrating the roof into the building. That's where the majority of all these leaks are coming from at Spring Creek. So this project is addressing all of that, redoing all of the electrical into those rooftop units, as well as the through-wall flashing around a lot of the roof system as well. And this one is due to this being all related to mechanical and they'll have it shut off mechanical. This will be a summer project as well, so that we don't interfere with the lighting environment at the campus during the spring. And it'll be completed before kids come back in August.
I move that we approve as presented.
I'll second.
Motion by Ms. Ege, second by Mr. Ben. All those, any further question or comment? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. J4, consider approval of a contract for the purchase and installation of video school boards at Ainham Consolidated High School Tiger Stadium and College Station High School Cougar Stadium based on OMNIA contract number 08-38 utilizing 24 bond funds.
So out of the roofs now. The bond that passed in May of '24 for athletics, part of that was replacing the scoreboards at College Station High School, Cougar Stadium, and Consolidated High School Tiger Stadium with digital video boards. We met with numerous vendors on this, and after getting proposals and working through their numbers, their warranties, their software systems that they use, and how those best align with the district and our goals, it was decided to recommend digital scoreboards for the replacement of these video boards. It is a 35 by 26 size board, so it will be a large screen on the end of these. And this system as well, they use a monopole system, which is typical of what you see on the interstates as you see the billboards. So it will allow us to more center the scoreboards, especially here at Tiger Stadium. and take up less real estate in the end, but, we feel confident in their boards and their, warranty and their product and their software system that, we've had other districts tell us that they've had 4 and 5-year-olds be able to operate it. So it's a very simple system, easy to understand and navigate through. But we'll get, we'll have a very good product at the end of it. And that is going to start as soon as we can, really, with getting all the coordination scheduled and stuff.
I move to approve as presented. Second.
Motion by Ms. Simmons, second by Ms. Eby. Any further comment or questions? Did you say when this should be completed? I'm sorry.
It'll be complete by this summer.
Okay. Wonderful. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0.
One other thing besides the scoreboard, that also comes with new sound systems at the stadiums.
Great.
So.
Consider approval of a contract for the purchase and installation of LED lights at the baseball and softball fields for Anthem Consolidated High School and College Station High School from Symmetry Sports Construction based on TIPS contract number 240104-01 utilizing 24 bond funds.
So this is another one of the projects from the athletics bond in May of '24 is to replace the field lighting for baseball, softball at both high schools. We did get proposals from a couple of entities, one of those being Symmetry Sports, and after evaluating those and looking at them with warranties and the cost of the systems and everything, it's recommended to go with Symmetry Sports Construction to change the lighting from the traditional field lighting to LED lighting, what you see at both of the high school and football stations. In this project, we are going to navigate through schedules, and we are hopeful we can have that lighting changed out before district play starts for each of those 4 sports.
As a baseball parent, I can happily move to approve as presented. I'll second.
Motion by Ms. Simmons, second by Ms. Eby. Any further question or comment? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. That will bring us to executive session, and we will be back.
I know, I feel that.
Back to L1, open session. Consider and take possible action in matter style student versus CSISD, docket number 027-SE-0924.
I move to accept the recommendation of the superintendent of schools and the school district's attorney, and to direct the superintendent and the school district's attorney to proceed as discussed in closed session in the matter style student versus College Station ISD, docket number 027-SE-0924, before a special education hearing officer for the state of Texas.
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Ben, second by Ms. Simmons. Any further question or comment? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Brings to item adjournment. Thank y'all for being here and adjusting.